Hello, my name is Mark Trueman. This is the Brutal Truth of Trueman. Today I want to talk to you about the election. Of course, the election's going on right now, and many Canadians are going to have to make a choice. Of course, in the past, we have had veterans who have died for our freedom, so we must and should vote. We should obviously do it justice by looking up all the party platforms, researching the candidates, researching the leaders, and researching what the parties stand for, of course. Now, I have voted Liberal, I have voted Conservative, I have never voted NDP, but it is very clear, even amongst all the party platforms and amongst all the parties, at least the mainline parties, Liberal, Conservative, and NDP, that they have no interest, especially the NDP. Mr. Ford seems to line up very well with the NDP and be so far left, yet his party's name is Conservative, right, in Ontario? So obviously the name on the sign or the name on the policy book does not mean a thing. It means it actually matters what a person believes. Now when we look at Trudeau, the answer is very clear. He is not interested in more freedom. He's interested in taxation. He's interested in spending tax dollars and putting us further into debt. When it's Jagmeet Singh, God knows, honestly, he'd bankrupt the country, like a lot of the NDP might. Okay, yes, they are in cahoots with the unions, and let's just say the unions are good to a degree. At least historically they were. And then you've got Mr. O'Toole. Now Mr. O'Toole, of course, across the party banner says Conservative. And you would say, great, I'm going to vote Conservative because that takes Trudeau out. But when you actually research and do the math, and actually look at what this man is saying and what this man has done, and the actions of him, okay? He has thrown real conservatives out of the party for standing up against him. He has stood up against free speech, basically. There is no dissension in his party, basically. You either follow the line or you're kicked out. Now, where does that sound familiar? And that's Mr. Ford's playbook, okay? So there's really no difference because we know Mr. Ford's not a conservative, and of course, Aaron O'Toole doesn't seem to be either, okay? His policies seem to drift closer to the NDP and the Liberals than to actual, real, true blue conservatives. So, in this election, I think there really is only one choice. When you look at the idea of freedom of speech, when you look at the idea of a free country where we can express our ideas and not be concerned, when we have a society where it's not divided by a vaccine passport, when you say no to vaccine passports and you say no to further taxation, because all the Canadian taxpayer / voter needs to do is look at their bills, look at all the taxes they've had to pay every year since Trudeau has been in power. It's not going to be any better underneath Aaron O'Toole. By the way, he has his own carbon tax. Whether you call it something different or not, it's a carbon tax. So the true only alternative that we have in this election so that we get our country back on track is the PPC and Maxime Bernier. Maxime Bernier has basically shown to be a person who has been to rallies, seen the people, been amongst the people, has spoken about freedom, and wants freedom for our country. He was very clear. He actually figured it out long before we all did, even as a conservative myself. He knew in 2017 the party had gone far left. He had seen it, and he went and off and made his own party. Now, while myself and others tried to work together to obviously bring the grassroots back in the Conservative Party and make it a conservative party, that's not possible. It is an old carcass of itself. It is no longer majorly conservative, and the only alternative for a true blue conservative in this election is the PPC. So I hope you will support PPC candidates across Canada. I hope you will go to the ballot box and actually dare to vote PPC. I dare you to, because the thing is, that's the only thing that's going to change this country. All the other three only have one idea. No freedom, more vaccine passports, more taxation. Now, what does that sound like to you? That sounds like we're working for them, and they're not working for us. And that's the brutal truth.